All right, so Eric, I want to open this with an amazing top 10 list that was published by a leader of Black Lives Matter,
Okay.
and I think this is mostly addressed to you. Most of this list doesn't apply to me, so I thought I would just read these questions and then get your response.
Okay, and so for our listeners here, keep in mind I have absolutely zero idea what Trevor is talking about. So let's get on with this list.
All right. Here are 10 requests from a leader of Black Lives Matter in response to I guess Louisville Black Lives Matter's response to the Charlottesville incident.
Okay.
Or Charlottesville. All right. 1. White people. If you don't have any descendants, will your property to a black or brown family, preferably one that lives in generational poverty.
Okay. No, but go ahead.
Why not?
Because it's my property. Anyway, I have zero.
How dare you?
That's ridiculous. Go on.
2. White people. If you're inheriting property that you intend to sell upon acceptance, give it to a black or brown family. You're bound to make money in some other white privileged way.
Okay. Yeah. This is getting more and more reasonable as it goes.
If you are a developer or realtor owner of multifamily housing, build a sustainable complex in a black or brown blighted neighborhood. Wow, did they use the word black or brown blighted?
Yeah, so their literacy skills are not great, but go ahead.
No. I mean, my concern is calling a neighborhood with black and brown people in it
Yeah,
blighted.
exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't disagree with that one.
And let people live there for free.
No, I disagree with that one. I do think so. We talked about this, and I think some of this goes back to a long time ago when they were working on highway infrastructure and all this stuff. And I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast, but most of the that's an actual problem, and so that one I completely feel for that, because a lot of the minority communities, a city like Columbus, for example, I mean, they just drove highways straight through communities and ruined them more or less. So. I don't have a problem with. I do think that not only developers, maybe we can give tax breaks. I don't know, what options there are, but in general, obviously, they need to, the developers, they need to make money. I mean, that's just a given. Aside from all that stuff, but more on a moral stance. I do think that they should be working on improving the minority communities. I mean, that's a given. Because part of the health for the city. I don't want to you walk down the street, regardless of race or anything like that, and have people asking me for money, or have bad neighborhoods where people are doing bad stuff, or people can't get jobs, or what have you.
I don't think this influences homelessness at all. This isn't tackling the problem of homelessness. Well, I guess if you make it free, which isn't going to happen, then it solves the problem of homelessness.
Yeah. Well, no, because even with, there's some people who just don't want it too. So. Okay, so that one's not. That was at least in a ballpark of something that kind of made sense, aside from let people live here for free thing. So,
white people, if you can afford to downsize, give up your home you own to a black or brown family, preferably a family from generational poverty.
I'd say if you're anybody in America, if you can downsize your home, Why are there, there's Will Smith, why is he driving around in a mega $30 million bus and a private jet, and he has, some badass place out in California and all that stuff? Is it just why don't all rich people do that then? What does that have to do with white people? I guess because we have white privilege and stuff, but that's just a nonsense thing. Nobody's going to do that. I don't even know why. Okay, anyway.
Number 5. White people. If any of the people you intend to leave your property to are racist assholes, change the will and will your property to a black or brown family, preferably a family from generational poverty.
See, what I would do though is people in my family are poor, so I would just will it to them. Why would I not will it to somebody in my family?
I think this point is basically
give all your stuff to other people.
Well, so this one's all right, if there's racists, don't give them things. And then also give them to the people I want you to give them to.
Yeah, I don't disagree with don't give assholes property. If somebody in my family was a jerk, I'm not going to give them my house.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm not. I'm also not going to read a listicle and be I should give money to whoever this person says.
Yeah.
Number 6, white people. Rebudget your monthly so you can donate to black funds for land purchasing.
What is the obsession with land?
I know. Like, I don't understand the...
I mean, if anything, I would say that that's actually a huge mistake because, I mean, you can just go buy cheap land in the United States. Like, I mean, even if you didn't want to live here, you could just go to like some desperately poor country and buy land, and now you have land.
Or you could, I mean, like, so even in rural Ohio, a couple of acres of land costs nothing if you're not like in Columbus.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say even more so, what they should be focusing on is teaching people sound investment strategies and saving for retirement. I mean, that's far more valuable than giving somebody some house that they have to work on, they have to maintain, they have to pay property taxes on, and all this stuff that they might not even be able to afford that anyway. So like, okay, so let's say you live in like New Albany, right? And you like subscribe to this top 10 list and you're like, hey, I'm gonna do all this stuff. So what happens if you turn around and you give that house to somebody, even if you gave it from free, can they pay the $15,000 a year in property taxes? Can they afford the maintenance on the house? I mean, the homes aren't even cheap. So in all likelihood, if you did do that, you're just screwing some family. What you should be doing is saying, okay, well, here's, give them a good job. Here's how you save for retirement, and then building up wealth through that instead of just like trying to get somebody a giant house that they can't even maintain or live in.
You just don't want to give up your house, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Is there still more to this?
Yeah, it's top 10. That was 6. All right. So the rest of these I don't think are land based.
Okay, so at least it's more interesting.
But that's why I said this list was perfect for you because you're a proud homeowner.
Yeah.
All right. So number 7, white people, especially white women, because this is y'all's specialty. Nosy Jenny and meddling Kathy. Get a racist fired. Y'all know what the fuck they be saying. You are complicit when you ignore them. Get your boss fired because they racist too. I just want to point out, this is the only one that is written like this.
Why? Maybe there's like one person and like they were like off. Like they just had their own, like, I want mine on the list.
I mean,
I don't know.
The vernacular just changes completely compared to every other point. But that said, get a racist at work fired, and then get your boss fired too.
I mean, I think if you find out, not if somebody is being racist at work, get them fired because racism is not cool. I mean, if they're being racist at work, what else is there to say about that? Like, what does that have to do with like?
I mean, I also like the just get your boss fired because you know they're racist.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, are you sure this wasn't like
what
co-opted by like the alt-right or something to like write this? Because this is borderline idiotic.
I mean, this was published by represented by Louisville BLM.
Okay.
All right, so number 8, backing up number 7. This should be easy, but all those sheetless Klan, Nazis, and other little dick white men will be returning to work. Get they ass fired. Call the police even. They look suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, that's just incomprehensible. I mean, yeah, if you see somebody's a member of the KKK, yeah, you should. I think you should just fire him because that's ridiculous. But aside from that, which I think might have been the sentiment coming from that, I can't really tell because it's not.
So, like, I guess my concern here is that people have been doing this for like the Charlottesville thing, and they did get people fired who like just happened to look like somebody who was at the march, but it wasn't them.
Yeah, that's dumb. Like, I mean, you can't ruin somebody else's life just because of their race or skin color.
I mean, there are only like so many human permutations of faces. How many people look like you?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been mistaken for people before, so.
Me too.
Okay.
All right, number 9, backing up number 8. If any white person at your work or as you enter in spaces and overhear a white person praising actions from Charlottesville, first get a pic. Get their name and info. Hell, find out where they work. Get them fired. But certainly address them, and if you need to, you got hands, use them.
Yeah, so advocating for violence is incredibly morally apprehensible in just about any case. So, not going to do that. And if you do that, I hope you wind up in jail. You can't even assault racists. It doesn't matter. Like, you can't physically harm people. It's never appropriate to assault somebody for anything they say, no matter how stupid it is. And what was the rest of it? Like, if you see somebody praising, yeah, I mean, that's really pretty. I mean, just in general, like, you shouldn't be praising any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
So I don't agree with that. But advocating for physical violence, I mean, you lose credibility as soon as you say that. So I mean, it's actually not like, even if you did think that, you should realize that that's not a smart, intelligent way to go about getting your point.
I mean, it's bad political optics, if nothing else.
I mean, if any, yeah, it's anyway. Let's go.
All right, last one. Commit to 2 things: fighting white supremacy where and how you can. This doesn't mean taking up knitting unless you're making scarves for Black and brown kids in need, and funding Black and brown people and their work.
I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, that's not too bad. That's probably the most reasonable thing, or maybe the top 2 or 3.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, more than half the list is just like we need property.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder if this person is like about to buy a house.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Because
I mean,
it seems like homes are way too on their mind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, you can literally, I mean, you can go buy houses in, I mean, this is in Kentucky, like, go 45 minutes out of Louisville in the middle of nowhere and go buy a house, like all the poor Appalachian people sitting out there now. I mean, nobody's stopping them. Like, anybody can afford to go buy property out there, I think. I mean, so that I don't really get. I mean, I kind of understand, like, in one aspect, I understand, like, the generational, there's been all this stuff going on, people have accumulated wealth and power because slavery or what have you, but it's just like, it doesn't matter. That's just the truth of the matter. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like, you're never going to get people to, like, I mean, you might convince somebody to do it, like, freely, but I'm not giving anybody my property. I don't care.
How dare you?
So, yeah, into that, anyway. Oh, man. I'm glad I was in the mood to not be really annoyed by that today.
Were you?
Yeah.
All right.
I had a good day today, so.
Should we move on to the community news?